Hello friends, are you ever looking for super easy recipes with a minimal budget that will feed a large family? I got you covered today. I'm going to share 4 super duper easy, affordable, and delicious recipes that are just a little bit different, but I think they will make your family very happy. So let's get started. Okay, tonight's dinner is super duper easy. I make this all the time because it's a go-to and I've never shared it. So I usually love to make my own Alfredo sauce, but tonight I'm going to use the jar because for this recipe I always use the jar. It's easier. I prefer my own though for regular fettuccine, but we're going to take 2 jars of the 16-ounce Alfredo sauce. I actually got garlic flavor this time to add a little more flavor. I'm going to take some salt, some pepper, some garlic powder. I'm going to use this 5 cheese tortelloni. You can use any tortelloni you want. I got these double packs. I'll cut this in half, save one for later. I'm going to use this from Sam's Club. And then you can use chicken tenders. You can grill your own chicken. You can do whatever you want. I've got these little bites, which are perfect. I'm going to cut them in half like once I cook them. I'm probably going to throw them in the microwave because it's easier. Boil some water. We're going to add the tortelloni to the water. Let it boil up. Cook real good, just like normal with pasta. And then we will combine, we'll drain the water and combine the sauce in there and the chicken and the seasonings. And then we will also put some cheese in there. We'll put that into a 2-quart or whatever quart casserole dish you want. And then we'll top it with some breadcrumbs and we'll let it bake in the oven. I usually put in there at like 400 for like 15 minutes. And it is awesome. Serve it with some garlic bread and some salad. Let's go. Okay, I'm just going to put these in the water. Pour those in the water and let them boil. Okay, now I've drained it. So since it's drained, we're going to add the sauce, 2 jars. It stinks because so much that gets stuck in there, but you don't want to put water in it and make it all like runny. Okay, we'll add the second jar. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. Now I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. I usually add garlic salt, but I'm out of it. And a little bit of salt. Okay, want to stir this, and then I'm going to get the chicken out of the microwave because it is up there. I want to go ahead and turn this on so it can kind of get warm, the sauce. So now we'll add in the chicken. Okay, chicken is chopped up. Now we're going to add the chicken chopped up. Then I'll mix it around. I've still got it on, so I'm just letting it cook together real quick, and then we'll put it in the oven with some breadcrumbs. There we go. Comes together. I'm going to add some cheese though. I don't have anything else but Colby Jack. I usually use Parmesan, but we're just working with what we have. It just makes it come together a little bit better. Add a little bit of cheese. Like I said, because like at Olive Garden, I think they make it real super cheesy. I like to add a little bit of extra cheese because cheese is better. It makes things better, you know. Alright, I'm going to let that melt together. I'm going to get the breadcrumb. Okay, now I'm going to add this into the 2-quart or whatever you want. I've made it in the 13 by 9, but Ryan likes it better like this. I don't know. I guess the way it cooks together. So we'll add it in this. And I already have the oven preset. And then, the cheese is sticking. And then add some breadcrumbs to it because breadcrumbs just sprinkle on top. I've got Italian. Let me see. You can add some more cheese if you want. Okay, it just gives it like a baked type of flavor. And then we'll put it in the oven. Like I said, about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back. Okay, here is the tortelloni all finished. We'll have some salad and garlic bread with it. Look at it. Okay,
Today's recipe is super easy. We're gonna take a pack of frozen, or not frozen, you can do frozen patties. We're gonna take a pack of patties. We're gonna take garlic powder, salt, 2 packs of onion soup mix, a pack of brown gravy mix, a diced up onion, some beef broth, some Worcestershire sauce, that's how you say it. And then I don't have cream of mushroom, but you're supposed to use it, I guess. I'm just making this up as I go. I'm going to use cream of chicken just to give the creamy texture. It'll change the flavor a tiny bit, but that's fine. Working with what we have, this is a budget meal. So we are going to layer this in there. I'm just going to put all this together and let it cook on low for 6 hours and come together because I need to use these patties up. And I thought they love Salisbury steak, so this is just a different variation of it. Then we'll have some like mashed potatoes on the side because I have a bunch of potatoes to use up. Let's go. So I'm going to open the patties. So I got a whole big pack, and I should use them to make burgers, but honestly, we'll see what fits in here because I don't have time tonight to cook up burgers. Burgers are easy, but I just don't have time to like sit and mess in the kitchen tonight. So we are going to make something easy. So let's go ahead and add the patty. Actually, let's add the onion in the bottom. Onion in the bottom will kind of give it, it'll add the flavor to the patties and let it cook from the bottom. And it'll also elevate that a little bit in case it like starts to burn at all. Since these are not frozen patties. I've only ever done this recipe with frozen patties. So we're just going to lay them all in there. Try not to like necessarily stack them on each other, but you only have so much room in these crock pots to do. So let's try to do that. And this will have plenty of leftovers too. We're a family of 6, but this will be a great recipe to leave leftovers. Just layering it all in there. And then wash my hands off, guys, because okay. Now I'm going to take an onion soup mix. I'm going to take 2 packets since I have so much of this. This will all kind of cook together. 2 packets of onion soup. I'm going to put some salt in there. You can put pepper, whatever you want. I'll add a little bit of salt. I will add garlic powder just because it is a must in every recipe I make. And I don't measure a lot of ingredients. A lot of people do. I don't measure. I'm going to add that for flavor, knowing how much I have. And then let's add the soup. Kind of gives that creamy texture to it. Like I said, if that grosses you out, use your cream of mushroom. That's what I would use if I had it on hand, but I don't. It'll all come together with the onion soup. And then I know how much I have left in this. I don't want to overdo it, but I want to give it a little bit of like gravy. So I'm just adding some of that to cook through because we have to make some gravy later. So we'll let that cook through. I'm going to cook it for 6 hours on low and we'll come back. Okay, so here's dinner. I just put a little bit of cornstarch in. The burger's cooked all day long and it all came together. See? And made some instant mashed potatoes because they're cheap. We needed to use them up. And then I had green beans in the cabinet. They're cheap. So super easy meal, you guys. All come together. So there is the food, guys. And there's tons of sauce. So you can put it on the mashed potatoes, but they don't prefer it on there. There you go. Super easy and cheap. Okay, what we're making tonight is whatever I got in the kitchen. Because it's last minute and this is real life. So I'll come up with a different type of Dorito casserole. I don't have any rotel, so we'll omit that. But you need a can of cream of chicken. You need whatever cheese you have on hand, which is supposed to be like 2 cups. So I have plenty of that. You need the Doritos. You need 2 cups of those, or is it 2 cups of those? You need a large bag. I've got plenty of those. Then you're going to need half a cup of sour cream, half a cup of milk, and then you also need 2 cups of cooked chicken. I already had chicken that I made that I used for last night's dinner, which was like a random Alfredo that I threw together. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a pan, a 2-quart dish, whatever you want to use, and then we're going to preheat the oven to 350, and we're going to get a bowl out, and we're going to mix the chicken together We're gonna mix the cheese, one cup of cheese. We're gonna mix the cream of chicken soup, the milk, the sour cream. If you had a can of Rotel, put it in there. And then you need, this is another thing I don't have, a half a packet of taco seasoning. So usually what goes in taco seasoning is garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, all that kind of stuff, chili seasoning. So I'm just gonna mix some of that in there since I don't have, shockingly, a taco packet. So hang on. We're gonna use up what we have. So let's just take what we have of the chicken because there's no point in keeping that. We're gonna take the can of cream of chicken soup. Actually, usually these meals end up being the best. The ones that you like don't have like ingredients for, you're using up what you have. Then we're gonna take a half cup of sour cream. So for some reason I've overbought the sour cream. Let's take a half a cup of that. Maybe a little more, just because I have so much chicken. And then we are going to take a half a cup of the cheese, which is fine. I have tons, so we'll do half of this. So I have some for on top. And then I want to get some seasonings out. So let's get out some garlic powder, some onion powder, just to give it some flavor, you know. Garlic powder is always good. Onion powder. We'll get out, let's see what else we have in the cabinet, guys. This is like one of those pantry meals. Chili powder, but I have some paprika, so we'll put a little bit of paprika, put a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of salt. And then we're gonna mix this together. And then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take those Doritos and I'm gonna put them in a bag, like a sandwich, a big like freezer storage type bag. We'll mix it together and crush them because we're gonna layer this. So this is all we're doing. This is so easy. So easy. I wish I had the taco seasoning though, because you guys know I love taco seasoning mix. And I know some of y'all told me in the past to buy the container, which I did one year when we got like that, like COVID, school like lunch money. I bought one of those big things from Sam's and did a huge haul. But I didn't love it as much as I love the little like packets that probably aren't good for you. It needs a little bit more pepper. It's not turning the color I want it to turn, you know what I mean? Like with all the artificial stuff in it that the little packets probably have. So we'll just make sure it's got good flavor is all. There we go. That smells better. Okay, hang on. So I didn't add the milk. I need to add a half a cup of milk. Okay, I didn't add that. I don't know why, but I didn't. Okay, so I crushed up the chips. What we're gonna do, I sprayed the pan out with some cooking spray. I'm gonna put some of those on the bottom to give it a nice layer. And makes it kind of cheesy. And then we're gonna put a layer of this, which might be hard to spread. I'm gonna do half this mixture. For the spread, right? Hard to spread that though when there's nothing, you know. I've always struggled with like pie crusts and things like that, like spreading the butter and doing your own, because I am a mess with it. See, look at all that, such a mess. It's hard to layer that, so it doesn't have to be beautiful. You know what, forget it, we're gonna do it my own way. You can layer this, and I don't know how they would layer this because it's chunky. We're gonna do it my own way because that's the beauty of cooking. You don't have to follow what somebody else's recipe is. You can make it your own, how you want it. But still, at the end of the day, you're cooking for your family. You're making them something good. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is put the rest of those chips on there. And there we go. Okay, so we got that, and then we're gonna use up the rest of this cheese. Woo! See, I mean, what kid doesn't love Doritos? What adult doesn't love to eat Doritos? Ryan likes the Cool Ranch, so I've told you this. I've made it both ways. Like, I've made different Doritos casseroles. We're how easy it is. Like, I'm literally not wasting anything. We could have ordered takeout. We could have done whatever because I have no groceries. But why not make something with what you have? So, we're going to cook this in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes at 350. And then we'll come back and serve. Okay, so here it is. I guess I overcooked the cheese on top. But we'll cut this out and see it. And then Emily made some rice in the Instant Pot. And so there's an easy dinner. So tonight's dinner is super budget friendly. I've already gone ahead and I didn't film it, but I boiled 1 container of the, I'm using the whole wheat, I think, spaghetti. So I've already boiled it. Simple. You guys know how to boil spaghetti. I got out a 13 by 9 inch pan, sprayed it, preheat the oven to 400 degrees. I had it at 350. And then coming over here with our ingredients, you're gonna need 2 cans of tuna. You're gonna need a can of cream of chicken or cream of mushroom. You're gonna need panko crumbs. You're gonna need cheese. Every recipe needs cheese. You need some vegetable broth or stock, a little bit of butter, salt, pepper, and then cayenne. I'm not real sure if I have the cayenne. And then you can add a half a cup of frozen peas. But I love peas. Ryan does not like peas added into stuff. He hates peas. If it even has a pea in it, he's not gonna eat it. So it's hard enough to get the kids to eat something with tuna in it. So let's not push our limits here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this bowl. I'm going to mix it with the can of soup. I'm going to mix it with the salt, the pepper. And then in total, you're going to need 1.5 cups of cheese or more to your liking. We're only going to use 3/4 cup of the cheese in this. And then we're going to mix all the stuff together. The vegetable stock, I forgot about. We need 3/4 of that. We'll mix all that together and combine it with the noodles and combine it with the tuna. Then we're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter and a half a cup of breadcrumbs. Mix that together, put it on top, and let this cook in the oven for about 25 minutes. Super duper easy. Let's do it. Pour the soup into the bowl. Then we're going to take, I'm not going to measure it, but you're going to take some pepper. I'm just going to eyeball it. We're going to take the salt. Like I said, you can measure all you want. And then we're going to take, I don't have a 3/4 cup, so we're just going to measure 1/4 cup 3 times. Same difference. I really need to get a 3/4 cup measuring tool. We're going to measure that. Then we're going to add in the cheese. So we're going to add that in. There's cheese. Go ahead and rinse that cup off before I put it in there. I know this doesn't look yummy, but it'll come together. We're just going to mix this combination around. I don't have cayenne, and you can add peas to this, but like I said, Ryan does not like, my hubby doesn't like peas. The kids aren't big peas fans, so we're just going to omit that in this recipe. And we don't want to make it too spicy, so now we're going to go put this together. So I realized I added
So now I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of butter here. I'm gonna melt the butter. I'm gonna combine the butter with the 1/2 cup of bread. Okay, butter is melted. Let's go ahead and continue on with this. Got the breadcrumbs. It just kind of gives them that texture. Like I said, if you want to just do 8 ounces, I didn't pay attention to the instructions, but it's fine. I don't like having leftover noodles. You can do 8 ounces of pasta. And you're just going to sprinkle that on top. And we'll put it in the oven and bake it. It'll give that nice, like, crumb topping, you know. Get that going, all buttery. I might make some homemade bread to go with this. I've never made it, but why not try? And if I do, I'll share it with you guys. And if it's a recipe everybody likes, we'll come back to it. Like I said, you can find this recipe. This is not mine. I make many different tuna noodle casseroles. This one is out of my friend off YouTube, Jen Chapin. So, there we go. There is the casserole, and we'll come back after we cook it. Okay, just gonna cook this in the oven at 400 for 25 minutes, and we'll be back. And here is tuna noodle casserole, y'all. And this was just some crescent rolls I got at the store for 90 cents. Yum. I was trying to show a better view of it. It's so good. It would be even creamier if you add another can of soup, or if you minimize how many noodles you put in there. But still really good. I tasted it. Okay, my beautiful friends, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Say hey to me in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you all.